Hey Tilly,
Hey, Bilal.
we've got a guest, but should we just let them do the intro?
Definitely, he is the man.
Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between and beyond. My name is Joshua Idehen, and you are listening to Festival Sounds. Be excellent to yourself and to each other.
Joshua Idehen, it is an absolute pleasure to have you on Festival Sounds.
Thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate it very much.
I came across your show, I saw it at Green Man Festival, but I tried to see you at the Rum Shack at Glastonbury because you were, before festival season, you were the act that I wanted to see. There had been so much chat in every WhatsApp group I had been on about you. How did it get started to bring poetry to dance to stage performances? How did this come about?
How did it come about? Oh God, we're going way back. I have to admit that I was, my poetry and music career was a child of osmosis. I was lucky enough to be at the right place at the right time, even though for several years it was pretty much, it felt like I was at the wrong place at the wrong time. I was running a poetry night. What the hell happened? I was running a poetry night at the this place called Volupte. It was a burlesque and cabaret bar.
You've got my attention.
Yeah, and at the time we mixed poetry and music, and this was around the same time that MySpace had just started, and MySpace had done this new feature where when you started, for those of you who don't know, including Tilly, who's not here, MySpace was kind of like, imagine if Facebook and SoundCloud were one thing, right? Because MySpace was like an account that you put up, a social media account you put up, and then you had friends and you could select your top 10 friends. And then they created this thing where you could label yourself an artist. And if you labeled yourself an artist, you could put up a song on your page of your own, which meant was like a game changer because it meant artists could essentially release their music and promote their music. Bear in mind, there was no SoundCloud, no Bandcamp, none of this stuff before. It was just that. And a lot of poets were putting up their music, their poetry up there. Basically a cappella stuff. You record stuff on your dodgy Sony Ericsson phone and you just send it up. Or, if you're a hip hop artist, you post stuff like that. And I was running this night. And we were booking a lot of poets. And then there was this poet I really wanted a book called A.F. Harold, he's now like a very, very big children's illustrator, doing very, very well. But he couldn't do the night. And I complained about it on MySpace. And another poet who I had seen around the time, his name was Scroobius Pip, he got in contact and he said, I heard you're lacking an artist for this show. Can I take his place? Can I have a go?
All right.
Bear in mind, our show was a new show. We had a lot of buzz. We had a lot of people who were coming down. So there was, at the very, very beginning, a kind of like a big interest by the scene to perform at our night because we were always selling out, which meant there was always going to be an audience. So everybody wanted to come and perform and show off their wares. So
where in the world was this show?
Oh God, Paul Jazzy. We ran in London. First few years at the burlesque bar, and then we just went round. we went around London trying to find venues. Our last show was at the Royal Opera House. Oh, sorry, Royal Albert Hall, Elgar.
Amazing.
Yeah. It was a good time. It was a good time. I had some very good performances there. Anyway, Scroobius Pip says he wants to do it. I say yes. We get him down. It is a legendary night. And me and Scroobius, off the back of that, we become friends, right? Because I like his stuff. I tell him, I thought this was really great and blah, blah, blah. It was all good. And he says to me, I'm doing this other thing where I'm mixing my poetry with music. and we've just done a new song. You should check it out. And it was with another guy called Dan Lesac, and they had just made Thou Shalt Always Kill. And that song went stratospheric, literally from MySpace. It was one of those songs where it was the right place at the right time, because it was MySpace, this new way of delivering music to the masses, and it was glitchy, hip-hoppy, dance kind of music, and it was spoken word. So it was all these elements that were all very, very new, all happening at the same time. And, the youth culture really grabbed it. And Scroobius Pip, his poetry was very acerbic. It was very, very irreverent. It was kind of like, in a way, it took no prisoners. It was very of the now, right? And so it exploded. It exploded on the internet. It did crazy numbers. It almost, I think it just was very shy of the top 40, or maybe it got into the top 40 at the time. So it was like,
amazing.
I watched this guy who went from, he drives his car to poetry events, right? To perform in front of 20 people, to like selling out 93 feet east and basically doing shows around. And then he was selling out, Scala and Coco. And
incredible venues, both of them.
Yeah. He invited me to all of it. Obviously, he was just like, because he was a mate, and it was just like, yo, if you want to come down to my show. So we just went to every single one of his shows, and I got to watch him grow bigger and bigger. And I guess in my head, there was a lot of envy in a way, kind of like, wow, look how well he's doing. I'm as good as him. How hard can it be?
And what was the answer to that question?
The answer was, how hard can it be? The answer was 20 years. 20 years of work is what it meant. I remember
I don't want to age myself here, but I know there is a distance from MySpace to last summer.
Yes,
there's been a minute since that.
A huge difference. I gave my brother the track. I gave my brother a track that I wanted him to sample. It was by a band called Antibalas, and the track was called Payback Africa, and he sampled it. And I had a friend called Musa Okwanga, who we had met in the poetry scene, and we decided that we were going to join a poetry collective. And I gave him this track that my brother made, and we talked about ideas that we were going to write as poetry. And we decided that we were going to write about London, but we were going to write from two different points of views. I was going to write from the point of view of someone who hated London, and he was going to write from the point of view of someone who liked London, because he had a posh accent and I had an African accent. So obviously it made sense that I would be like, Africa is so terrible.
That's
London
incredible.
is so terrible. It's very smelly. And he was like, no, London is great. It's wonderful. You can think about the summers in London. They're second to none. Anyway, I remember we recorded the track. I hated my voice so much. I hated my voice. And I was like, oh my God, it sounds like chalk, what's it called, fingernails on blackboard. It sounds like old wine that's been left out in the sun and is moldy. I thought my voice was the worst. It did not sound how it sounded in my head. But I liked Musa's voice. I thought Musa's voice was amazing. So I said, you know what? This track is worthwhile if Musa likes his verse. If Musa likes his verse, I won't try and kind of like sabotage it by saying, oh, my voice is bad, so take it off. We'll keep it for Musa's verse. So I call up Musa and I tell him, yo, I hate my voice on this, man. I think my voice is crap. But if you like your voice, let's put it up on MySpace and leave it at that. Like I really think your voice is amazing. I think your verse is fantastic. I like what you did. So if you like your verse, we'll stick it up. And Musa is really quiet. He goes, I was just about to call you to tell you I hate my voice. But if you like your voice, we'll keep it up. So at that point, I was like, you know what? We're not the best judge. We'll put it up there. We put it up. And I remember A.F. Harrow, surprise, he was the one who got back in touch. He got in touch and was like, wow, I just heard that new poem you put up on MySpace. This is London. It's really great. And that gave me the confidence to keep going.
That's incredible. And you were doing social commentary then, and that thread is in your music and your poetry now.
Yeah, coming from poetry, there wasn't really an avenue for doing anything else. I think everything I've done has been laced with some level of social commentary because that's what I see. That's what I think is quite absurd about the world. And I want to talk about it in some way, shape or form. I think when I first started, at the time when I first started, there was very little poetry that was done with music. So I was kind of learning as I go along. And because of that, I used to use comedy as a way of sort of shielding myself from criticism because I didn't think I was always comparing poetry to hip hop, and because I didn't rhyme in the same way, and I didn't match my poetry to the beat in the same way. What I would do is make myself funny. So if people said, "Oh, he can't rap," they'd be at least he's funny. That was kind of like my low self-esteem, kind of like creating like a little sort of buffer. It was like, oh, guys, please don't take it seriously. It's all jokes. And throughout my entire life, I had a lot of people tell me, why am I doing that? Like, your work stands on its own. And I was like, I'm not sure, whatever. But, I guess eventually I learned.
But you are working in a space now that I haven't seen anyone do what you do. I do a lot of festivals, and what I saw at Green Man this year and what you were delivering blew me away. And I know there's been a journey to get there.
Yeah.
But it's really special what I saw.
Thank you very much, man. That's really kind. And I have to say, it's a group effort. It's not just me sort of pontificating in a kind of like John Cooper Clarke kind of way. I've got Ludwig Parment, who provides the music that my words kind of fly off the back of, right? It's the two of us kind of working together that creates the sound. And yeah, it's been a lot of work over a very long decade, over several bands. I've been in several bands over the years. Benin City, Hugh, Calabash, and I've worked with several kind of like really esteemed musicians who helped me, who provided me a platform that gave me the chance to hone my craft. Or in particular, Shabaka Hutchins, who I met at a poetry venue almost like more than 2 decades ago. I met him at a poetry venue and decided that we were going to be friends because I loved the saxophone, because I was a huge John Barry fan and I loved saxophone. Anybody playing horns, and he was a poet who played horns. So I was like, mate, we're going to be friends. I'm sorry, right? We're going to be friends. And then he goes on his journey and he ends up becoming the greatest saxophonist in the UK, right? He is at the forefront of the new jazz movement. With the Sons of Kemet and The Comet Is Coming, who are two amazing bands. And because of
I have seen both. And what he does with his breathing, because he's able to inhale, exhale in the same motion and hold those notes for so long.
The only other person I've seen do that in my life is Colin Stetson. That is the only other person who I've seen be able to do that. Like, being on stage with him is an extremely humbling affair, right? Like, I featured on the Sons of Kemet and on the Comet Is Coming albums, and when they would perform, they would take me on tour, to turn up and whatever. And it always astounded me and kind of like humbled me that I would run out of breath doing the one song. Right, and then Shabaka is there, absolutely drenched, right? Basically matching me note for note. I'd say a line and he'd play the note, and then he'd play the rest of the song as well. And I'd be like, "How are you still breathing? I'm literally dead. I've just been screaming over 2 drums." But yeah, it's people like that gave me the space, took me on tour, and helped me sort of hone my craft. And it was through performing in several bands where I've essentially got a chance to fail repeatedly and hone my message. So when I finally get to this age where I'm no longer stressed about looking cool or sort of impressing anyone but myself, and I have the skills to say exactly what I want to say, I think. And also, I was lucky enough to meet someone who is kind of my creative partner in crime. I think things just got a bit clearer and a bit better.
I've seen both Comet Is Coming and Sons of Kemet play live. So the idea that I had already seen you and just hadn't realized, because until this conversation now, I had no idea, which is mind-blowing.
It is
that is... Sorry, go on.
I was saying that is, I mean, it's kind of very funny how so many people, right, only cotton on who I am and that they've seen me before, like, or what's it called, in a very, very staggered way. It's like people, they would listen to like Mom Does the Washing and be like, oh, I listen to Mom Does the Washing. I've met one, there was one person who was like, I listen to Mom Does the Washing. I really like you. I really like what you're doing. And then they were like, oh my God, I had Learn to Swim a year ago. I really like that song as well. I only just found out you were the same person. And I'm like, okay, cool. And like, oh my God, Sons of Kemet. You're in Sons of Kemet. This used to be my song of the summer in 2016. Oh my God, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, Comet is coming. Wow. And then they were like, wow, Benin City. That fills me with joy. There's this one person who's just been coming back repeatedly going like, I listened to this particular thing at this particular time and I did not know it was you. And I think that's just because my marketing is terrible.
Well, it won't surprise you that I found out about you because a friend sent me a link to Mum Does the Washing, and I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And the same friend actually sent me a link to Comet is Coming, so I think he may be your PR manager.
Yeah,
to Phil, who has been your biggest champion, perhaps unknowingly. My mate Phil, he's got your back.
Big up
you
my
could just
mate
pretend
Phil.
you're one of a twin of like 6 people and be like, yeah, there's 6 of us.
Mean, I have, like, there have been a few people, because there's a couple of tracks that I've done that are unreleased, and people have come back to me and said, is this you? And I've told them no. And they've been like, but it sounds like you. And I'm like,
not this time.
us Africans, we sound the same. But he's basically doing what you do. And I'm like, yeah, but come on. Black men doing poetry were like 1 in a million. Come on. Let it go.
What you described, though, about what is success goes to the heart of so many artists' journeys. It's so easy for people to say, oh, you're trying to do this, or if you're not performing on this stage or at this capacity venue, you've not made it. But there is a huge amount of effort that goes into just getting onto the stage in the first place. And so you can never sell people short for that. And I think people like to impose this success criteria onto artists, whereas maybe it's just the graft, right? You just got to chip away at it. And also, I should explain.
Sorry, one second. My daughter. Hey, do you want to say hello? No, don't switch it off, Birdsong. Do you want to...
believe me, there's times I wanted to switch this off too.
Hello.
So I'll be right back.
Yeah, of course. So, Tilly, we've been interrupted by Joshua's daughter. Perhaps we should explain why your voice only appeared 10 minutes into the recording.
Yeah, lots of connectivity issues. And to be fair, even still, I can only hear half of it. So I'm just taking in what I can.
Occasionally drop a zinger of a line. Hope it comes through.
I'll try. I'm definitely going to have to, I don't want to, cut through his heart too much. But he's going to have to explain what MySpace is to me, because that's way beyond me.
Well, during this intermission, perhaps I should advise the listeners that you're able to see Joshua Idehen at in Brighton, Exeter, Bristol, Manchester, Leeds, Leeds, Nottingham, that's all right, Cambridge, and Coco in London, which is a cool venue,
here we go.
and also Glasgow. But I'll be at the Manchester gig at Gorilla on the 17th of April. Oh, whilst you were away, we just did a little promo for your
yeah,
tour.
We were giving you a plug.
That's awesome. Why suddenly I was in that mad voice where I try to pretend that I can speak properly rather than with my Lancashire accent. I was at Gorilla where you are playing in April. I was there on Saturday night to see Lee Fields. It is a incredible venue under a railway arch, no mobile signal. People don't have their phones out. I'm looking forward to it so much.
That sounds so good.
Oh, it's gonna be nice. I think this tour is gonna be very, very good. I'm very much looking forward to playing the album playing the songs of the album that we haven't yet played live. And we're coming with a new set. And for the UK tour, we have two backing vocalists, Sarah and Patrick, it's just more fun when you have people on stage who they get the energy, they get the vibe, and they just engage with you at the same time. And yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a really good one. And Manchester, surprise, like, oh God, I've got stories for you. Like, our first tour in 2023, which we had no business doing, in all honesty, where the Manchester leg, London was great. That's always been good, obviously, because I was based in London. But in Manchester, we sold 13 tickets.
I was just about to say it's a really knowledgeable crowd in Manchester, and you've totally pulled the rug from under my feet here.
No, we sold. I mean, the worst tickets we ever sold was in Leeds. Leeds we sold 2, Paris we sold 6, and Manchester we sold 13. And now Manchester is probably going to be the first place in the UK that sells out.
Wow.
For this leg. Yeah. It was. I mean, it would have been Brighton, but Brighton, Bristol, and London is big numbers, is big sizes. So it's
Coco is huge.
Coco is huge. Yeah, Coco is the biggest show I've ever done. Biggest headline show we've ever done. Like Coco it's just been crazy. Last year we did Jazz Cafe twice, and for me that's been quite an incredible, humbling experience to go to a place where I had seen so many greats like Dwelle, Floetry, DJ Jazzy Jeff, a place where I always would I had a faraway dream, not even like a real dream, a faraway dream of, it would be nice to do a headline show here and get a packed audience. That's what I was aiming for. And then we sold it out twice. And that venue was the first place my mom saw me ever.
Wow.
First time my mom had ever seen
me. That's amazing.
Yeah,
I saw Sky there. Do you know who used to be the singer with Morchiba?
Yes.
I saw her play the Jazz Cafe. You are... You deserve every part of that stage, by the way, because I've seen you on stage. You are incredible. You are a perfect fit for the Jazz Cafe.
Thank you. Thank you very much for saying so. Thank you. All right, Tilly, it's your turn. Tilly, it's your turn. Come on, Tilly. What are you going to say? What are you going to say?
my keeps going in now.
No, it's fine. What question were you asking before my daughter rudely interrupted? Bilal.
Oh, yeah, no, let's talk about your festival summer in 2025. Which festivals did you play? What makes festivals so special for you?
Oh God, like festivals have always been like the core experience when it came to live music, as far as I was concerned. Like when I lived in London, I worked in nightclubs and bars. So that pretty much became my clubbing culture. It's like I never really went out on my nights off because I just worked in bars and clubs, right? But festivals, that's where I went to. And because I was a performer, I made two things. I made a mission of never paying for a festival. Instead, what I would try and do is get a gig at the festival, so that way I could go for free, right? I mean, they paid you nominal fees of like, what, 50 or 150 pounds, but you're going to spend that at the festival. And that's why you're going to the festival. I was going to the festival. As far as I was concerned, it was like the festival is free. I get a little bit of money to spend, but the real payment was I get to see music that I want to listen to, which was the second thing, right? I have had so many great experiences at festivals, watching some incredible bands that I was looking forward to see, some brand new bands that I discovered. I met some absolutely wonderful people, some of whom I don't speak to anymore because we just drifted apart. Some of them I only met once, at one place, and we just had that really incredible moment. Some of whom didn't even meet me. I was just if I can share this story, I went to Latitude Festival with my old bandmate, Shanaz. and we wanted to do Latitude because Solange was performing there. Solange knows was performing there, and I was with my then girlfriend. We were watching Solange on the main stage. She was doing this. She had this huge, massive intro that involved, terracotta fabric and terracotta colored fabric, and girls and choreographing. And Shanaz was in front of me. Shanaz, she's like a plus size mixed race girl, and she was having an absolute moment. Like, I'm talking tears. All I could see was the shoulders moving up and down, and I know she wasn't laughing. It's just tears. I could tell she was having a proper black girl moment, right? And my girlfriend is like, should we give her a hug? I'm like, no, just leave her. This is her moment. Let her do her thing. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Right next to Shanaz, right, was another girl, black woman, having an absolute moment, tears. And Shanaz and that girl turn to each other, give themselves a hug. And I'm like, oh, I'm so glad Shanaz isn't there by herself. I'm so glad she had people there for her. The show's amazing, whatever. To display. And then I go to Shanaz and I'm like, Shanaz, what's it called? Should we wait for your friend before I go? And she goes, oh, I don't know who that woman is.
Yeah.
I never met her before in my life. I just turned to her, and we saw each other crying at a Solange gig, and we gave each other a hug. And for me, it was just beautiful to even be on the outside witnessing that. And then this lady, because of that introduction, she ended up following our old band, and now she started following this new project I'm doing, and she's one of my best friends, Sazi.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, festivals they're just this great place that I guess for a lot of festivals I've been to, they kind of act as an equalizer. Like, it doesn't matter if you've got like a teepee or you've got a tent, right? When you're in the Glastonbury mud pit trying to watch Bjork, everyone is kind of equal, right?
It's how Tilly and I met. Tilly and I camp next to each other. That's how we know each other.
Exactly. Like, you meet the most random people, like, and everyone is just
random. Oh, she's definitely random.
Everyone sort of comes from like they come from their backgrounds, and in the festival, for that little moment, you can just be the person that you are right then. And when you have an incredible experience at a show, when an artist is locked in and they really give it their all, and you're there and you're hearing this song that you've listened to on radio for a long time, and then there's someone right next to you having the exact moment, and two of you lock eyes and you go, shit, just like Shanaz and Sazi did. And yeah, that's a beautiful thing. And I used to go to fair, like Latitude was my favorite because it had the best poetry tent. So I would go there and I'd spend the daytime just listening to a whole bunch of poetry. And at nighttime we'd go check out acts. And, I went to Glastonbury, Reading and Leeds, In the Woods, went to a lot of small festivals, Shambhala, Secret Garden, Big Chill, Rest in Peace. I've always enjoyed it. When I used to when I was part of bands, I would look at small stages or little tent stages, and I'd be like, oh, it'd be nice if my band could come here. I think in Latitude, there was a time when my goal with Latitude was to perform at the Sunrise Arena. It's a little tent. It's kind of like a mid-size, about 300, 400 cap tent in the woods in Latitude Festival. And that was my goal. That's where I want my career to kind of like point to. So you can imagine that, this last year performing at the World Garden in Green Man was so way beyond even what I had dreamed was possible. And the sizes of that, and Glastonbury and the Rum Shack it's just been an incredible feeling. And the one curse that's come out of newfound success is that I have to do a lot of festivals every weekend. Like in the summer, I spend no time at home. We're doing 2 festivals per weekend, which means the bit that I really love about festivals, which is just spending the whole weekend and having a laugh, I can't do that anymore.
I suppose I never saw the trappings of success as more work, more festivals, and therefore less time unwinding.
Oh yeah,
festivals.
this last year we tried to do festivals by ourselves, and we realized that we don't have, we just can't. The timings just go wrong. So we've got like a tour van and a tour driver whose job it is to just get us there and get us out to the next festival. Because especially now, before when I just started out, I did the earlier hours, the 1 o'clock to 2 o'clocks, because that's when you put the kind of like up and coming artists. But now I'm performing at like 7, 8, 9 o'clock, right? Well, we're doing the late hours closer to the headline, because I guess people are, they want to see us, and I'm really happy about that. But what that means, especially when we have another festival, sometimes a foreign festival, which means we need to get out of the festival, and that's all right if you're doing like a small tiny festival. The main stage and the car park are literally back to back. But somewhere like Green Man or Glastonbury, the Glastonbury festival I left that festival like at 5 a.m.
Wow.
I had to be in what's it called? A city just outside, 2 hours outside of Paris, and I left Glastonbury at 5 a.m. Partly because the person who was meant to drive me out had forgotten where his car was. So we had to walk around for 4 hours trying to find his car. But, and that was the point where, like, we need a tow driver. We have to pay someone whose job it is.
No one wants to be leaving Glastonbury at 5 a.m., let alone
nobody
if you can't find your car.
Yeah, nobody wants to be leaving Glastonbury full stop. But that, that's the only curse. Like Green Man, I wanted to walk around Green Man. I wanted to check. There was so much I wanted to watch. And that's just the nature of it. Like, I can't come early because I need to conserve my energy and whatnot. And I can't stay late because there's somewhere else to be. But for the time when I'm there, it's still a vibe. It's still a beautiful experience. And
I think it's worth calling out. When I was in the Walled Garden, it was packed. I have never seen the Walled Garden as busy, and I've been to Green Man since 2018, every single one. We were shoulder to shoulder. You can dance a little, right? So it was quite. That's something that caught me by surprise. I was like, oh, he can really move. And there's a lot of energy that goes into your performance. I get what you mean when you say you got to be rested before the show, and it was one of those shows where the crowd was so into it. I mean, there was two things. I think you became the act that people were talking about, and then once you were there, if you've only heard Mum Does the Washing, you might think it's something very different. But when it's so upbeat, when you can dance to it, and when you see you on stage dancing, it totally changed into, we're having a party in the Walled Garden. So how does it feel when you see the crowd react to what you're doing, and those people who might not have seen you before?
I have to admit, like, it has, I think there's so much about Mum Does the Washing that has kind of taken me by surprise. The success from Mum Does the Washing, because I mean, I've grown up sort of slightly terrified about the idea of being a one-hit wonder, right? Like, there's people are there to hear one song, and in a way, kind of like with my old bands, it has been that nature. There's been, like with Benin City and with Hugh, there was one song that was big and everything else was small. So a lot of people who came down to listen to us were coming for that one song. And as much as I love the attention and support and just the blessings that Mum Does the Washing has brought to me, there is the entire catalogue, right? Yeah. And I guess when we did Green Man, and before Green Man, we did Greenpeace, and there were like, 5,000 people there. We were expecting 1,000 because it had been months since Mum Does Washing came out in 2024, and it was 2025 in June. And we thought, okay, the hype has died. Well, we'll get 1,000 people here, and that'll be nice. That'll be cool. It'll be great. We'll have a little jolly. And we came down, and the whole place was rammed. And so my fears go from, is anyone going to turn up, to how am I going to entertain these people who clearly are just here for Mum Does the Washing? And so then to have those people, engaging with every song. And I think on that stage, actually, at the Green Man, I didn't feel like Mum Does the Washing was the biggest song. I knew everyone came down. everyone came out for Moment of Worship, but seeing people react to the other songs in such a vibrant way, especially what it always was. Oh my God! Because the Green Man at the World Garden is kind of like, it's like a long corridor, right? And that place was rammed all the way to the back, like so far into the distance, where way past the exits, like people, it was just one long row. So when I do this thing called the Nigerian wave. It's kind of like the Mexican wave, but instead of the Mexican wave going left to right, the Nigerian wave goes front to back. And it's all people waving their hands. And everywhere else, right?
Videos. I'll post videos on our Instagram. I got videos of that.
Yeah, the video, I wish I took a video. We didn't have anyone taking a video for stage because I was just so much of in a blur. I was just like, make sure the show is good. Just do a good show, right? And when I did the wave, we saw it actually went from just hands. It looked like an actual wave because it went all the way to the back. And if you get the first time I do, you can almost hear me screaming, it's still going, because it was going all the way to the back. And at that point, I'm just thinking like, oh my God, they're with us. They're with us. And it gave us so much confidence because it meant that like, sure, Mom Does the Washing is a popular song, but the people who are here are engaging with everything else. 100%. And everything else has got value to it. And it was an incredible experience. I mean, what's it called? Green Man was one of those wild ones where like so much happened that made it very exciting, even though normally would terrify me. Like we had a 45-minute set, and the clock that was on the stage was wrong. so I kept looking at the clock going, we have time. And then I looked, I could see the woman behind, and the woman looked at me and she was like, you do one more. And then I'd already told Ludwig we have 10 minutes more. So I went on to Ludwig, I was like, Ludwig, last one, quick. And it the whole show, I was pretty much on my toes. I was so excited, at the same time so nervous, and really just wanted it to go well. And I wanted, I didn't want to mess up what was essentially our biggest show. And again, I'm so glad that we connected. I know how lucky I am. I know how privileged I am that I'm making music that is reaching people on a very personal level in that way. It's not something I take for granted. I just posted up a message from this guy who he said basically like he and his partner have been they've been fans of what we do, and they've been trying for a child, right? And IVF and everything, and it's only just recently caught on after several failed attempts. And just when she went into labor and she was trying to push they put the playlist on, and whilst the playlist was going on, just randomly, All You Can Do Is Try came on.
Oh man!
And it just I'm kind of like, okay, what do you want me to do this year? What do you want me to do? I can't top the year now. That's it. That's the end of the year. That's December. Might as well go for 2027. This year's done. I can't top that. Like I'm here writing music with the express goal of making people who feel if you felt as shit as I felt, that you feel less alone, and now people are playing it whilst they're given.
You literally helped a child be born.
I was one of many songs. I'm sad, but it's as someone who's been doing this for 20 odd years, right? Who has spent a large amount of that time in the sea of indifference, right? It is very, very humbling and very appreciated to be at the point where people mess with your work.
What I saw, it made me want more of what you're producing, and I think that's what clearly has been the case for others. That was definitely the feeling in the crowd. Thank you for coming on and speaking to us. It's been absolutely fascinating, and you're on tour. You're covering most of the country.
Okay, all right. So we have got a tour happening around the UK. I'm fond of saying this now because every time I say it, it's true. But it always kind of like gives me a little giggle when I have to say it again. It's the biggest tour I've ever done. It's gonna be the biggest tour I've ever done, and it's doing quite well, with the exception of Exeter and Cambridge, right? Which they're not doing badly, but I want all my children to be happily fed.
So listen up, Exeter. Listen up, Cambridge.
Exeter, Cambridge, it's going to be a beautiful show, but it would be even more amazing if you came. Those are the two that I definitely kind of want. I would like for people to pay attention and maybe get a ticket or two, or 4 or 13. I don't mind. But
and
yeah,
get your tickets quick because it might sell out.
Yeah.
It might sell out. Like Brighton's gonna sell out. London is gonna sell out. Bristol is gonna sell out. Manchester is most definitely gonna sell out. Nottingham, crazy enough, right? Last time I performed in Nottingham, we performed to 50 people. That's gonna sell out. It's going to be a very, very exciting 8 days. And we'll be promoting our brand new album. I know you're hurting, everybody's hurting, everybody's trying. You have got to try it. There's going to be new songs. And for the first time, we are performing in cities outside of London with backing vocalists. Normally, we've saved the backing vocalists only for London. That's been like the thing but now we're like, thanks to everyone's patronage and support, we have enough money that we can take them on tour with us. And also because we just want to do a really good show, and they make the show so much better. And so, yeah, I can't sell it more enough. If you want to make some joy, come down. We have a lot of ingredients.
And there's going to be a lot of dancing. I have to emphasize this. The album, there's dancing on this.
And you never know, there might be some babies born in the crowd.
There might be babies born. If you come in London, right, my mom is gonna be there. That's for certain. So if you want to see my mom, if I'm not enough, come down and see my mom in it. She's gonna be in London, and then I guess everywhere else we'll bring something down. Something special will happen every night. We have like a very, very exciting support act. I can't wait to announce her. She's going to be. God, I've half announced it already. Yes, it's a woman. But which woman? No. Keep it in. Keep it in. Keep all my mistakes in. It's a woman. But who? Who could it be? Only
This
one
is
way to find out. Could it be Tilly? There's only one way to find out.
This is the rawest, most visceral episode we've ever done.
Who could it be? Mystery hour. Yeah. So we have a really good poet. I'm so excited to have her on tour. She's going to blow your socks off. And yeah, it's just going to be, it's dance, music, and spoken word. It's like it's a bit of the streets, a bit of Faithless, a bit of Nigeria, a bit of Sunday masses without the Christianity, just the songs of praise. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, it's pure sunshine.
Sounds like a party.
Hey, you said it. I'll just co-sign it.
Thank you for listening. Please give us a follow on Apple or Spotify.